Okay guys, our lesson today is to be able to graph rotations. We have a few vocabulary terms for this lesson. A rotation is a transformation that turns a figure about a fixed point. The center of rotation is the fixed point about which a figure is turned. And then we have the angle of rotation, which is the number of degrees a figure rotates. Okay, let's take a look at our first example. We're asked to rotate triangle ABC 90 degrees clockwise about the origin. What are the coordinates of A prime, B prime, C prime? Now 90 degrees represents the angle of rotation, and we want to go clockwise. The origin represents the center of rotation, the fixed point about which the figure will be turned. So here's what we want to try to do. Alright, so we're going to take this triangle here, and this is the same triangle, and we want to rotate it 90 degrees clockwise so that it's going to be situated like this. Well, if we look at the triangle 90 degree clockwise, we can see each of the points or the locations of each of the image points. Right, so let's start with A. Right, point A is located at 2, 2 of the original triangle. Well, its image after a 90 degree clockwise rotation is located at 2, -2. So we're going to write that as our coordinates. 2, -2 are going to be the coordinates of A prime. Well, what's going to be the location of B prime? Well, B is located right now at 2, 4, 6, 8, 8, 2. After a 90 degree clockwise rotation, B prime is located at 2, 2, 4, 6, 8. So 2, -8. And if we look at C prime, the original value for C was located at 3, looks like 5. C prime is located after a 90 degree clockwise rotation at 2, 4, 5, -3. Now, what we do is, when we look at our new coordinates, let's write the -3, a little lag with the computer. Alright, now I can kind of spin this back. Right, so let's put that back, and I'm going to make it smaller, get it out of the way. Get it smaller, get it back out of the way. Right, now we can graph the image. The image is located here. 2, -2. It's A prime. B prime is located at 2 and -8. 2, 4, 6, 8. There's our B prime. And our C prime is located at 5 and -3. C prime, we graph, right, with straight lines. And we have the image now of triangle ABC after a 90 degree clockwise rotation. Now if you look carefully at the ordered pairs, right, let's see, our original ordered pairs, let's take a look. A was located at 2, 2, and A prime is 2, -2. Okay. B was located at 2, 4, 6, 8, 2. And B prime is located at 2 and -8. C was located at 3, 5. And C prime was located at 5, -3. So do we notice anything about the original values and the new values? Right? The original values and the new values. Is there anything that we notice? Well, keep that in mind. Next picture. We want to rotate triangle ABC clockwise 180 degrees about the origin. What are the coordinates of triangle A prime, B prime, C prime? So once again, if we take this original picture, right, and we rotate it 180 degree clockwise, 90 degree clockwise would look like that. 180 degrees clockwise would be here. One of the things you'd want to notice or not want to see right now is that a 180 degree clockwise would be the same location as a 180 degree counterclockwise rotation. So that's something just to keep in mind. So let's go back to 180 degree clockwise. So there's 90 degrees clockwise, 180 degrees clockwise. So there's our 180 degree clockwise rotation. Right? Let's identify the locations of A prime, B prime, and C prime after that 180 degree clockwise rotation. A prime is located at -2 and -2. B prime is located at -2, 4, 6, 8, -8, and -2. And C prime is located at -3 and 2, 4, 5, -5, -3 and -5. Alright, so let me make this smaller, get this out of the way. Spin it back. And now that we have the coordinates after a 180 degree clockwise rotation, we graph the location of the image. So A prime is located at -2 and -2. There's our A prime. B prime is located at -8, -2, -4, -6, -8, -2. B prime, and our C prime is located at -3, 2, 4, 5. There's our C prime. Connect our points. Alright, and once again, right, let's look at the original values here. A was located at 2, 2, and A prime was located at -2 and -2. B was located at 8, 2. B prime is located at -8, -2. C was located at 3, 5, and C prime is located at -3 and -5. Right? Do you notice anything about the original ordered pairs and the relationship to the image ordered pairs after 180 degree rotation? Interesting. Let's continue. Well, I asked you if you noticed anything, right? So let's take a look at the rules. Let's go back to that 90 degree, right, clockwise rotation. That 90 degree clockwise rotation, x comma y went to the y and the opposite x, right? So there's a rule that we can use to create the image. For a 90 degree clockwise rotation, x comma y goes to y and the opposite of x. So let's go back and see if that works. So here's our 90 degree clockwise rotation. Our rule says x comma y goes to y comma opposite x, right? Let's see if that works. So let's take a look at point A. Y comma opposite x should be 2 comma -2, right? And that looks like that works. Let's look at B. Y and opposite x should be -2 and -8. All right? Right? So, because I graphed that point wrong. That's why that's wrong, because that's a comma 2, right? So that should be 2 and -8, and that works. And then we have y comma x. That y and opposite x, I'm sorry. So we should have 3 comma 5. Should be 5 and -3, right? And that works as well. So we can use the rules to represent and complete our rotations, right? Y, comma, opposite x for the 90-degree rotation. Let's go back and look at the rule for the 180-degree rotation. A 180-degree rotation, our rule is x comma y goes to opposite x, opposite y. Right, let's see if that worked. So we have x comma y, 2 comma negative 2. Opposite x, opposite y should be negative 2 and negative 2. 8 comma 2 goes to opposite x, opposite y should be negative 8 and negative 2. Right, that works. 3 comma 5 should be negative 3, negative 5, right? And that works as well. And then we have the rule for a 270-degree rotation, right? Clockwise about the origin, right? X comma y goes to opposite y and x. But more often than not, guys, we're going to be doing 90-degree rotations and 180-degree rotations. The 270-degree rotation would be the same as a 90-degree counterclockwise rotation. Keep that in mind, right? But we will refer to our rules. Okay, so let's take a look at this next example. We want to rotate the trapezoid A, B, C, D 90 degrees and 180 degrees about the origin. Write the coordinates of A prime, B prime, C prime, and D prime. That would be for our 90-degree rotation. And A double prime, B double prime, C double prime, D double prime. That will be for our 180-degree rotation. So let's start with the 90-degree rotation, right? Let's do that, right? The 90-degree rotation, right? Our rule, x comma y goes to, my pen, right? X comma y goes to y and opposite x. So x comma y goes to y, comma, opposite x. And then we have our 180-degree rotation. Our rule says x comma y goes to opposite x, opposite y. All right, so let's use the rules to get our ordered pairs. So let's start with A prime. A prime. All right, well, we need our ordered pairs first. So A is located at 1 comma 3. 1 comma 3. All right, B is located at 2, 4, 6, 7, comma 3. D is located at 3 and 1, like the deli. And C is located at 3, 4, 5, and 1. Okay, so let's use our rules here. All right, I'm going to change colors. All right, make it blue. So A prime. A prime, we want to go y opposite x. So the y value would be 3. Opposite x would be negative 1. So that should be 3 comma negative 1. All right, B prime. Y opposite x would be 3 and negative 7. C prime, y opposite x would be 1 and negative 5. And then D prime, y, and then opposite x would be 1 and negative 3. So we have the coordinates for the 90-degree rotation. And let's see what our 180-degree rotation would look like. Right, A prime, opposite x, opposite y, negative 1 and negative 3. B prime, opposite x, opposite y, negative 7 and negative 3. C prime, opposite x, opposite y, opposite x, opposite y would be negative 5 and negative 1. And D prime, opposite x, opposite y would be negative 3 and negative 1. Right, so let's graph our ordered pairs and see, right, if it looks like a 90-degree rotation. Okay, so let's start with our first rotation. So we have A prime is located at 3 and negative 1, 3, negative 1. There's our A prime. B prime is 3 and negative 7, 2, 4, 6, 7. So our B prime. C prime is 1 and negative 5. There's our C prime, and our D prime is 1 and negative 3. There's our D prime. Connect those points. Right, and does that look like a 90-degree clockwise rotation? Right, let's see if that looks like a 90-degree clockwise rotation. Oops. Undo that. There we go. I'll move that down here. Right, and let's rotate it. Does that look like a 90-degree clockwise rotation? I think they match up pretty well. Right? I think that works. Let's try our 180-degree clockwise rotation. Right? Figure should look like that. Well, let's graph our points and see. Change colors here. Right? We'll use the orange. Right? This should be a double prime. My bad. These should be double primes here. Double primes. So A double prime, negative 1, negative 3. Your A double prime. B double prime is negative 7, 2, 4, 6, 7. Negative 3. Your B double prime. Negative 5 and negative 1. 2, 4, 5, and negative 1. There's your C double prime. And then your D double prime is negative 3, negative 1. There's your D double prime. Let's connect those lines. I need an orange. So let's get orange here. Let me see orange. We'll use that. Okay, so we've got here, 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 and here. Does that look like the figure? It certainly does. Right? So we can use the rules to find our 180-degree rotations clockwise and counterclockwise, because 180-degree rotations would be the same whether they're counterclockwise or not, and our 90-degree clockwise rotations as well. Okay. Now, 90-degree counterclockwise would be the same as a 270-degree clockwise about the origin. So what was that rule for a 270-degree rotation? Right, a 270-degree rotation would be the same as a 90-degree counterclockwise rotation, and that's what we're being asked here. Counterclockwise means we're moving the opposite direction of a clock. So 270-degree rotation, our rule is x comma y goes to opposite y and x. All right. So if A is located at 1 comma 1, let's write that down. A is located at 1 comma, what's that, 0. B is located at 2, 4, 6 comma 0. And C is located at 4 comma 2, 4, 5. 4 comma 5. A prime would then be located at opposite y comma x. Well, the opposite of the y value and then the x value, that's going to be 0 comma 1. B prime would be located where? Opposite of y comma x would be 0 comma 6. And then we have C prime. C prime, we want, let's see, the opposite of the y value, which would be negative 5 comma 4. Okay, let's graph those ordered pairs. Okay, 0 comma 1 is going to be here. So our A prime, our B prime is 0 comma 6, 2, 4, 6. So our B prime, and our C prime is negative 5 comma 4 would be here. That's our C prime. Let's graph those ordered pairs. And it looks like we have, right, our 270-degree counterclockwise rotation, which would be the same as a 90-degree counterclockwise rotation, right? 270-degree clockwise would be the same as 90-degree counterclockwise. Okay. Let's see, what do we have next? All right, let's try. All right, well, we're going to leave it at that. I hope that's been helpful, and we'll see you soon.